Hey, it's time at Dish with D. That's me. Thank you for clicking on this video and making yourself a priority. I am Denise. It is Saturday. Don't I sound a little bit better than last Saturday? If you haven't seen last Saturday's weigh-in, you should. Because I was sick. Sicker than a dog, actually. Well, I wouldn't say that. I was sick. I had a fever last weekend. And yeah, and I guess I didn't have to film, but honestly, I'm going to sit here and tell you, sitting here for a few minutes and talking to you guys, I can do that. You know, it's not like I had to go out to work and stuff like that. So sitting here and chatting, I enjoy it. So if you didn't know, I have had, I mean, I don't know. Do I still have it? I was diagnosed, I don't know. I took a COVID-19 test. Let's just tell me how to say it. I had a positive COVID test. Yep, still sitting here. I did a whole video on it. I don't want to dwell on that because it's not about me having COVID. But basically, I was sick. I was sick all last week. And I'm going to be honest. I ate my face off the weekend, especially chocolate. When you can't taste, you know, chocolate seems to be my thing of choice in texture. Because texture doesn't change. But taste, like, I don't know about you, but is it me? But when I can't taste, I just feel like if I eat more, I'll taste it. Well, it didn't work out that way. I didn't totally lose my taste. It definitely got very, very weak. And my smell, the same thing. Like when I would, you know, when the dog, usually you smell dog. It's like, you know, it didn't smell as strong to me. Things like that. So I even tried a teaspoon of cinnamon. Like, because I mean, you can't, I mean, especially fresh cinnamon on a teaspoon. Like, I'd have a whole teaspoon. But you would like, woo! I was like, you know, my tea, I would put extra lemon. It was sad. So I definitely struggled eating, feeling satisfied. And let's face it, I didn't do any cooking this week. I didn't. We ate piecemeals. You know, there's stuff in the freezer. I've prepared stuff. I mean, I have a well-stocked freezer and pantry. And I ain't no hardship eating from this, you know. I have stuff. I have Trader Joe's meals. We have boxed risottos and mac and cheese. And there's like frozen vegetables and fresh vegetables. There's salad. I mean, it wasn't a hardship to eat. It was just not things I would normally gravitate towards. You know, like, yeah, I have the Trader Joe's orange chicken. Would I normally eat that? No, I would probably maybe not eat as much of it. I've measured, I think it's 9 points. Sometimes I just make my own chicken and I put some of the sauce on it. But I ate anything that was easy. A lot of leftovers, a lot of things from, you know, I said, a lot of things I don't normally eat as a regular thing. Like Steve made cheesesteaks one night. I had a cheesesteak. It was delicious. Now, I normally do have a cheesesteak, but I might have opted for like the smaller roll versus the standard roll. You know what? Feed of COVID. You know, I was feeling sick. I was feeling sad. And when we feel sad, we eat. I don't think I overate to the point of like gaining 10 pounds. I mean, hey, you can gain 10 pounds in a week. You can. But I definitely ate more than I normally eat, and foods that I don't normally eat regularly. Like I said, if I would have had a cheesesteak, I would have eaten better that day. And you know, I ate what I ate that day, and there was chocolate in that day. So, but come Monday, I was trying to be a little bit more diligent in at least not eating crap. I did track from Monday to Friday, and again, food choices weren't the best. Like I said, I ate what was here, it was in the freezer. You know, I don't have it, and I was contemplating whether to get weight or not. I was thinking, well, and then you guys pulled me off that ledge and reminded me, you're sick. You know, it is what it is. And you know what? It's, you know, I earned it. You know, I earned it. And I always say, the scale's going to say what the scale's going to say. Would I relive that week over again? I wouldn't. I would do the same thing I did. Sometimes we need to comfort ourselves. And yes, sometimes that involves food. I may be the few people that say that, but I live realistically. I don't live somewhere else where food doesn't matter. It does. And to me, sometimes we need to medicate, comfort ourselves with food. So when I stepped on the scale, I was down a pound. I was like, what? I was shocked. Honestly, I expected to be up or at least the same. I did not know what. I got on twice. I went, really? That's shocking. I don't even know what to say. Well, I mean, like I said, the only good thing I did this week, I mean, I could sit there and say was good, was I drank constantly. You guys kept saying, drink, drink, drink. I had my water with me. I was drinking water. It helps clear out the crud. It helps clear out the sinuses. So I was drinking like a fiend. Like I probably don't normally drink. I wasn't taking my, didn't take any of my Bellway. Didn't take any fiber. I did take my pre and probiotic because the medication for COVID isn't the best on your stomach. So I did not really have diarrhea. People say, okay, massive diarrhea. I'm like, ooh, goody. No, I did not get massive diarrhea, but I think because I have good gut health, and I love those pre and probiotics I get at Target, RAE. If I remember to link them again, they're really, and they're affordable. I was on a couple different ones that were really too expensive. It's $14 for a month. I don't think that that's bad. You take two. I do a half hour before breakfast. And honestly, I can't complain. My gut's been great. And I think that's the reason I didn't get the diarrhea, was from the Ray. So, I know, I spent 6 minutes and it's like, okay, let's get, I don't want it to be too long. Let's get to the topic at hand, shall we? Have we? How to Build a Satisfying Meal by Beth James O'Keefe. Interesting that they put the word satisfying in there before, not to say how to build a meal, not even how to build a healthy meal. How to build, I get Southern now, how to build a satisfying meal. I think that word is interesting that that's in there because they didn't use the word healthy. They didn't even leave it out. They put the word satisfying. And that's key, because if you're not satisfied, you're going to go back and get what you want. Before we even get into this subject, we need to figure out, like, people say to me, Dee, why do you make all these weird hacks? Like, mug cakes and whoopie pies, because I'm satisfied with cake. If I don't satisfy it, I'm going to eat something that's way too many points in calories. If I can contain it in something that's 4 points, and probably, I think I did it was 230 calories. Somebody asked me to do the calorie count. Then that's a win. So yeah, you have to be satisfied. So I like the fact that they use the word satisfied, because if we're not satisfied, we're still going to look and we're still going to pick and we're still going to eat. So what does he say? Looking for meal inspiration that checks all the boxes, easy to put together, delicious, fits your points budget, and keeps you full for hours. Check out our recipes. All right. I will say there are tons of really good recipes on the Weight Watchers app. Try this. Decide how many total points you want to spend on a meal. Then choose the food or foods from each category below. So I guess they're thinking breakfast. I mean, I guess it's a meal you start into breakfast. Like I always try to do breakfast 6 points and under. Lunch, 6 points and under. So that's 12 points. If I happen to go to the max, and a lot of times I don't. So that's 12 points. I get 23. So that leaves me 11 points for dinner, plus a couple of weeklies if I need them. Or if I've earned points, which I earn points when I'm working out. I didn't work out this week, but another thing, I didn't exercise at all. Interesting. I didn't think about that. So I usually leave between, and I will take a couple weeklies for dinner. So it's usually 11 dailies and then maybe 3 to 4 weeklies for dinner. That's how I think in the morning. Now, that is how I have in my head when I'm planning what I'm going to eat. A lot of times I'm under points, so I'm able to put those points into dinner if I need to, or snacks. You know, your girl eats snacks, and there's nothing wrong with snacks. I feel like snacks get a bad rap. Pick one of the more protein and fiber-rich items as the base of your meal. Protein: eggs, chicken, tofu, seafood, beans, lentils, yogurt. Add a fiber: non-starchy vegetables, oatmeal, whole wheat, pastas, brown rices. I always say, definitely start your meal with a 0-point protein somewhere. Like if it's like a lunch and a dinner, it's usually chicken, fish. Don't give pork a bad rap, because lean pork is not the bad enemy. You know, and then add those beans in there. And you know, if it's breakfast, me, it's yogurt. If I'm going to, yogurt or eggs are my two breakfast items that I zero. They're in there somewhere. Even if it's pancake mix, I add an egg in there, just to give it a little more protein. There's those 0 points are always in a meal somewhere. Lunch, it could be in the hummus, in the dip. Also, there's usually deli turkey. I know, I'm one of the few people who eat deli turkey. I don't think there's anything wrong with low-fat deli turkey. I don't. I ate it through my whole weight loss journey. I don't. Again, no food is inherently bad. No food is off the table. Don't sit there and say, I'm not going to eat deli turkey because it's high in sodium. There's low-salt turkey. There's low-fat, low-salt turkey. You can get that. And I love string cheese. Now, you know that I had a very hard time when string cheese went to 2 points. And then I realized that through your whole journey, you had string cheese. So why now is it different because it's a point more? And it took me a long time to get to there because I was suffering with that. So bulk up after you put your filling protein in, and proteins are extremely filling. That's why you see people on these high protein diets that they want to up their protein because protein keeps you full and it's filling. Same thing, full and filling. And it's good for you. Most proteins are very good for you. Bulk. Choose foods loaded in fiber to fill your plate for a few or 0 points. Non-starchy vegetables like fruits, broccolis, mushrooms, berries. I don't really like berries. Mushrooms I do like. And I've gotten better with fruit because, again, it is 0 points. I try to fit in some sort of 2 fruits a day. I try not to have more than 2 fruits a day because I think back in the day, it was always you got 2 exchanges of fruit. So I kind of try to keep to that, but I'm not a huge fruit lover, so it's easy for me to keep to that. Step 3, flavor. Use these items in smaller quantities. The only requirement is that it tastes good to you. Satisfying, tastes good to you. Do you see where we're going with this? Cheese, heart-healthy oil, salad dressings, avocados, nuts, olives. Absolutely, I would throw in seasoning. They should have thrown in, that's a 0 point item. Seasoning, garlic powder, onion powder, Mrs. Dash. I mean, there's so many good things. Trader Joe's has a fantastic spice selection, and they're very affordable. Things like that amp up the flavor, and it gives you a little bit of something, something. If you only got, we all know that we're eating less, but that little less can taste fantastic with a little bit of help. Me, I'm not into the cheeses as much. For me, the amount of cheese for me to taste it is something I'm not willing to count. But honestly, I've been using olive oils and balsamics in salad instead of those dressings at those pre-made dressings. I mean, I do make my ranch all the time for my veggies, but for some reason in salads, I've been enjoying vinaigrettes. You could do it with lemon juice. You could do it with olive oil. It's just, and nuts and seeds. My God, nuts. Nuts get a bad rap, and seeds. You could have a tablespoon of roasted salted pepitas for 0 points. Put that in your freaking salad. And here's the thing, and I could be wrong, and I'm going to put myself out there saying it. If I have a tablespoon of pumpkin seeds in the morning, and I happen to have a tablespoon of pumpkin seeds at lunch, does that equal a point? Nah, unless the app gives it a point, I don't sweat it. Because I think the app is advanced enough that it could do that. But it chooses not to, so I don't know. The wild card. Step 4. What everyone else you're in the mood for, or whatever helps you finish the dish. Potatoes, corn, bread, or grains is a base for a good soup or a sauce. Definitely, I am a person, I went through a phase of spices. I was ordering from Flavor God. They're good, don't get me wrong. I don't think that they're bad. I just feel like I'm over the Flavor God hype. If you go to Trader Joe's, you get spices less expensive. If you go to Sam's Club, BJ's, Costco, they have really the Tone brand. There's also the other brand that has all the fun stuff. It escapes me. But you can get, granted, they're huge. I mean, I get that. I wish they were small. Walmart, because Walmart sells the same brand that Sam's Club does. Kinder's, that's it. I do have a pop in my head. Kinder's. Go to your Walmart and stock up on stuff like that. Extracts. I must have at least 12 extracts, because a little drop of that flavor in something changes. I can have pancakes that taste 15 different ways based on the extracts I have. And I love my skinny syrups. Make no bones about that. I could take powdered peanut butter, 18 different flavors with the skinny syrups. I know. And to me, that there's a thing that powdered peanut butter gets a bad rap. I do. It's really tasty, and when you mix it properly, it's fantastic. And when you put it in an item as a baked good, you're saving points, but you're not sacrificing taste. And that's huge, because satisfying. If we're not satisfied, we're going to keep looking for more food. And that's the thing. You have to spend those points. Eat the food you want to eat. Find a way to make it low in point. Don't sacrifice points for taste. Please don't do that, because you need to enjoy the food you're eating. Satisfying. She said it the first line. That's all I had to say. Satisfying. And we were done. How might it come together? Filling. Chicken breasts with taco seasoning, fat-free refried beans. Oh my gosh, I love that combination. Bulk. Cooked peppers, onions, shredded lettuce, and tomatoes add bulk. Flavor. Shredded cheese. Again, I don't think the cheese is adding that much flavor. The taco seasoning is where it's at for that one. Cheese, I feel like it's such a... the amount of cheese you need to flavor is, I don't know if we're willing to spend points on that. See, there's the thing. And for me, if I need cheese, I'd rather have it on the side and taste the cheese than stick it in there and it gets muddled and it's gone. See, they're saying 4 points. I don't know. I just wouldn't do it. Wild card, the corn tortilla shells. Absolutely. You can get the low carb tortillas. You can air fry them, make your own corn crunchy tortillas. I know. There's so many things we can do. Like, I am going to, I don't know if you saw, I partnered with Atori's Family Bakery. I'm going to be doing a lot of things with their lavash bread. It's fantastic. You toast that sucker up. It's 1 point for the minis. And I loaded it with, I made a, I think they call it a Southwest pizza. I got the thing, I loaded it, I wasn't say loaded it, I spread some fat-free refried beans, some taco chicken that I made with taco seasoning, peppers and onions, of course. I used 1 point of cheese because in order for me to taste the cheese, I am not willing to spend the points for it. And to me, it was all about that beans for me. And then I put a little dollop of some avocado. I think I had a point's worth left. And I put it in the oven. It was freaking fantastic. And it just, again, because you're eating food that looks like you used to eat, but it's just made better. Like, how do we make things better? There's things out there like the lavash. It's a low, whole grain, low point, low calorie flatbread. So it's ways for us to eat, because let's face it, we want to eat like we used to eat. And I always say, eat like a chubby girl. Because the way we eat doesn't change. And when we address how we are and eat the way we want to eat, we will find more success. Having a beautiful flatbread that was this big, it wound up being 1 point, I think it was 2 points, the whole thing. And it was satisfying. It was so good. So it's just basically looking around, see what you like, better options and saving points. Because I know a lot of us, don't want to spend a lot of points on, especially breakfast and lunch. Dinner is just always a wild card because you just don't know. Because dinner is just a bigger meal in general. So using those 0 points and utilizing the vegetables and the fruits as a way to bulk things up for no points. Even snacks, satisfying snacks can come from 0 point foods. Hummuses that I make, my hummus is 0. You can dip vegetables in it. Again, that's a 0 point snack. I cut up a cucumber, little mini bell peppers, and my homemade hummus. I'm having a delicious filling snack. It's full of fiber. And it satisfies me. I can't go into another meal hungry. It's not good to go from one meal to the next when you've not eaten all day. We've had a weight issue. We're used to eating. So how could we just change things, simplify things that we're still eating, but we're just eating better foods? There has to be a happy medium. Let's dive a little deeper. There's no right way to put together a meal. There's no one right way to put together a meal, nor must each one include the 4 categories above to be perfectly satisfying. But if you're asking yourself, why am I hungry again? I just ate for the 47,000th time. Having a recipe template that guides you towards satisfying food combines and can help and keep you on track. I think, why am I hungry again? I would venture to say most times we eat something that's not what we really wanted. We ate something that we think we should eat. And I think if you're not satisfied in here, you're never going to be satisfied in here. That's a big one. And that's something I had to come to terms with. I was a head eater. I always wanted to eat. Was I always hungry? Probably not. But it's like you have to get grips. This journey is 90% up here. So we have to figure out what we want and how we can make it within our budget. That's the bottom line. And what are you willing to sacrifice, and what are you willing not to sacrifice? It's different for everybody. You know, it is different for everybody has what they, you know what I'm saying, their way of doing something. You shouldn't do things the way I do. You should do things the way that you do. And you find that's what a journey is about. It's this journey of discovering what you're willing to do, what you're not willing to do. I was not willing to sacrifice cake. I was not willing to sacrifice snacks. I was not willing to sacrifice that weekly. Like, it's not like you could sit there and say, well, you could have snacks, you know, once a month or twice. You could have cake once a month. That's a diet. I want to have cake when I want to have cake, not when I think I'm allowed to have cake. Do I have cake every day? I do not. But if I want it, I fit it in. If I wake up, I think, I could go for a cake today. Then I'm fitting that into my day. I'm putting that into my tracker first thing before I do anything else. I put what kind of cake I decide. If I want vanilla, chocolate, if I want a donut, depends. Just, you know, my mood, you know. We have to eat what we want. So what am I in the mood for? Sometimes, I'm telling you, that overnight oats, it's that spot for so many things. Oh, I can't. When you make it with cottage cheese and it tastes like a cheesecake, it tastes like freaking cheesecake, and I don't even know what else to say. Excuse me. How? Building a meal based on foods high in protein and fiber, nutrients that are known to keep you fuller longer because they digest slowly, means you're less likely to overeat later. Not really. If you want it, this doesn't matter. And that's what we have to deal with. I like to deal with up here. What did you want to eat? How can we get what you want in the lowest amount of points and still be satisfying? Because again, satisfying is the reason of this topic. Meanwhile, incorporating flavor-boosting, high-pointed ingredients you love, looking at cheeses and dressings and nuts. Yeah, I'm not satisfied with any of the dressings out there. I like even making my own creamy dressings, my creamy balsamic, my ranch. They're better. They taste better than you're buying for lower. Like, I want it to be low points, so I've had to create ones that I like because the ones in the store just stink. Ugh, I've not found one I like. Bottom line, the biggest key to weight loss is eating fewer calories or points. They said there were calories? Oh, well, they know. Than you use for energy, satisfying both your stomach and psyche. I do know what I'm talking about occasionally. Can make that and reaching your goals feel easier and more delicious. Exactly. They end with the word delicious. It starts with satisfying and it ends with delicious. Do you see that correlation? You have to like what you're eating. Don't eat something because somebody told you to eat that. I try not to do that. I do taste things. I don't expect you to run out and buy them. But sometimes people are thinking about buying that. So if I like it or I don't like it, that maybe answers that question. But never get something that somebody says, oh my God, this is so good. Because what you like and what I like could be totally different things. You have to find what you like. And if it's way too high in points, find a way to make it lower. There's always a way. There's always different things you can tweak. And that's the thing. You have to get in the kitchen and experiment. Or maybe find somebody that's already done it for you. I mean, I get a lot of people who make the banana bread, who make the grits loaf, who make the cream of wheat loaf, who make the whoopie pies, who make the party cake loaves, who make the mug cakes, who make the oat bakes. I can go on. So I've done a lot of that. And a lot of the food, if you go to my website, most of it is snacky, kind of dessertish kind of foods like that. That's the foods I like. And those are the foods that I can't get lower in points unless I make them. Other than that, I mean, you can make a meal. You know, meals are never difficult. There's always a protein, like a chicken, a fish, even beef. You can get beef for extremely low in points. You can get a nice lean piece of beef. You can have a nice portion for 3 points, 4 points. Then you have your, I always try to create a meal, especially dinner, with a starch. Could it be a pasta? Could it be a rice? Could it be a potato? Could it be a quinoa? There's different things you can do. And again, weigh and measure it. 4 or 5 points for that. And there's always a vegetable, whether it be a sauteed vegetable, a roasted vegetable, or a salad. So that is how you build your meal. So yeah, those things are not my issue. My issue is those little things that we really want. Because we're satisfied with our chicken and our fish. We don't have a problem with that. We have problems with those other little things that come creeping up. And they have to be delicious and they have to be satisfying. Yes, I like the fact that she used those 2 words in there, snuck them in, but I found them. satisfying, and delicious. Because if they're not satisfying and delicious, you're not going to eat them. You could have something it could be 3-4 points, could be great. If it's not satisfying, you're just not going to go back to it. And that's the thing. We want to create food you're going to go back to. This is a journey. This is a lifestyle. You're not eating something temporarily. You're eating something for the rest of your life. So that's why we make mug cakes here. That's why we do it. I made my mug cakes for my birthday, and I'm very satisfied. Extremely. So that is this week's WW topic of the week. Is this the last one in the 4 keys to weight loss? All right, building a meal. Good one, you know. I picked out her little eggs in there, her little Easter eggs in there. I found them. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, join us here at Dish with D. We are slaying our poundages one at a time. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for supporting my channel. Thank you for all your well wishes, all your concern. It's touched me more than you know, because knowing that people you've never met give a crap about you is fantastic. It's very humbling. It is, and it means everything that you guys checked on me, messaged me, how you doing, you know, and I will dish with you. There will be no meal prep tomorrow. I've not cooked all week. I made a couple of different breakfasts. I don't know if it's enough for a video, but I don't know what we'll do for tomorrow. We may do something. Maybe we'll have top 10 something. You guys love when I do my top 10 videos of something. Some top 10 thing I haven't done yet. I love doing those recap videos. And because if you're new here, and there's a lot of, oh my God, there's a lot of new people here, you might not know something. So it's always good to do a recap video, I think. So we will be live tomorrow night, Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time here on the channel. Come join us for the Weight Watchers Weight Loss Chit Chat. We come, we talk it all out. You're all invited to join us. So I will dish with you. I'm not sure when, but probably something will be up tomorrow. I'm just not sure what. Have a great rest of your day. And let me know down below how you did this week. You know, I'm curious. I'm shocked, so I don't know how you did too. Have a great rest of your day.